Rock 100.5, the KATT, K-A-T-T. J. Ramone live. Rocklahoma 18 is here. Rocklahoma, Pryor, Oklahoma. Huge, massive field, thousands of people, and everybody is rocking out, having a great time. Our coverage here at Rocklahoma is brought to you by Rockin' Brews Restaurant, Umbrella Vapor, and Oklahoma RV Center and more, home of the no dock fees. We're sitting here with Neil from KATT. Thanks for stopping by.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me.
I am a massive KATT fan, and I'm sure it gets annoying when all of us geeks, fanboy out when you guys come to town.
Oh, I don't mind. It's flattering.
I went and saw my first KATT show in Tulsa, Oklahoma at this place called The Other Side. And I never heard you guys, didn't know any. A buddy of mine had an extra ticket and said, hey, I think you'll like this, you need to come with me. And there was a kid, I can't remember, I think it was Murphy's Law was the opener.
Okay, that'd be a while ago, yeah, for sure.
And they brought this little kid on stage for his birthday and had him sing, and he was real shy at first, and he was just like, thanks, yo,
I don't recollect that. I'll take your word for it, though.
It was epic. And the one thing I've noticed over the years watching you guys is you always have an eclectic array of openers that you take out on the road with you. It's always a different style, something different, but they're always just kick-ass bands.
Well, I think fans in general, like that diversity. It's at the end of the night, you're in a nightclub for 4 or 5 hours, and hearing 3 different versions of kind of the same idea can get stale for everybody involved. So, some of the best openers, I think of William Elliott Whitmore was just up there with the banjo, and the crowd loved it.
And he's awesome, by the way.
Yeah, he's one of my faves.
So, you guys are getting ready to release a new record. The single just dropped.
That's correct.
When is the full length going to come out?
September 7th.
September 7th. Okay, I need to mark that down so I can make sure and download that to my
we'll
iTunes
go on tour mid-September to support the record. So this was a good excuse to get out of the house and come play a rock show. Where
did you guys record it? At you guys' studio that you have?
No, we recorded it with Vance Powell in Nashville. And Vance, he's done some rock and roll with Jack White and Red Fang, but he's primarily known for working with Chris Stapleton. He does a lot of country, but at the end of the day, the principles of recording are the same regardless of the genre. Yep. And he is an incredible engineer as well as a producer and a great guy.
How many records have you guys self-produced versus bringing on somebody outside to help with it?
Well, we always credit ourselves, in production as well. I mean, we wrote all these songs before we stepped foot into Nashville. But it's always good to get a new set of ears on these things because you can get deaf to it after playing it over and over again. The exact number, I don't know off the top of my head. Earlier on, we were much more reliant on those, but I would like to think we've learned something over the years.
Well, with each record, you're not recreating the same record over and over. I feel like you guys do a really great job of adding new elements and changing the sound and things like that. The first time I saw you at the Canes and I see the B3 sitting up there, and I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I never imagined a B3, but I know that's going to sound awesome with all those riffs.
Yeah, we did that for a while, and it was great. But then I think you can kind of become reliant on that. It's like John Paul describes it as a sonic trampoline.
Yes.
And it's cool, but at the same time, it's easier to kind of get a little bit lazier with your playing because there's always a sound to back you up. So when we took it away, it kind of tightened up the sound again. And, it's important to take chances on things. Even if you fail, you can't not know until you try. And life's too short to just kind of repeat oneself, even if it's a successful thing. But it's the 4 of us, so it's going to sound like the 4 of us no matter what we do.
Oh, absolutely. The thing with KATT is every time I see you guys live, you don't play the same show twice. It's a completely different show, a completely different vibe, a different set of songs every single time. And as a fan, it makes me want to come back to the show because I know it's going to be something I haven't seen before.
We take turns writing set lists. Dan will do it the first night, and then John Paul will do it the third night, and then Tim. There's any given night, there's probably about 50 songs that we could pull from. And if it's one that we haven't done in a while, we'll give everybody a heads up and practice it for sound check. I think if we were to do the same set every night, I would start daydreaming, and that's when the mistakes happen. I think it's good to be a little bit intimidated by the set as a band member. Also, you know, if you go on tour 4 or 5 weeks in a row, doing the same thing would drive me bonkers.
I would go insane.
Yeah. So it, you know, keeps it interesting for us as well.
So where did you guys record in Nashville?
The name of the studio is Sputnik Sound, and we did everything in there. All the drums. We recorded it really basic tracks live, all 4 of us in the room, or 3 if I wasn't playing guitar, and then just use those basic live tracks as the base to put everything on. You know, we've done it the other way where everything's isolated, and that has its merits, but there's a certain mojo that happens when you're communicating to each other visually in the room that you can't get with isolation.
There's a groove, you know, and when you're playing with other guys and you're right there in the same room and you can see each other and you can feel and you can play off each other, you can't do that if so-and-so's already recorded their parts and you're sitting in a room by yourself. It's just not the same.
There's a synchronicity that happens, and with us, we've been put together so long, we probably don't even realize half the little cues that we give each other. But that's hopefully the sum is greater than the parts, you know.
Well, how many times have you guys been to Rocklahoma?
Man, I don't know. I know we were here about 2 years ago.
2 years ago, right?
And I don't know if that was the first time. It may have been, but I can say for certain that we were here 2 years ago. I don't have the best memory, to be honest.
So you know what to expect with this craziness out here.
Yes, I do.
These people are rabid, and they're ready to party.
Yeah, I mean, to sit out there in this sun, you're going to have a good time whether you like it or not. You know, you're going to have to go all in with this. And these are fun, you know, for us to play. We're not touring right now, so it was, like I said, it was a good excuse to get out of the house.
Well, you know, maybe you can visit some of the great landmarks here around Pryor, Oklahoma, while you're here. I will tell you this, though. There is a vintage vinyl show going on in Pryor this weekend.
Oh, no kidding?
Yes. They've got a building that's completely full of vendors.
I did notice on the way in here there's a lot of auction houses and antique stuff that, you know, if I had more time, I would love to check it out. You only get to Pryor so often.
This is prime time for antiquing. In Claremore, just west of here, downtown is nothing but antique shops.
That's cool. I like that kind of stuff.
I went to college in Claremore, and we would go downtown after class, and we would just go looking for just weird stuff to buy at these antique stores. We found a bottle of 100% liquid nicotine.
Oh, Jesus.
From the 1800s that, like, it was printed, not printed on the bottle, but like raised glass where they had molded it or whatever, you know, what it was, and it had the toxic logo.
What the hell would you use that for?
They were
dip your cigars in it, or
no? They were telling me that they used to use it to like treat stuff around their house to kill bugs.
Okay, well that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They said if you put it on your finger, that it would like eat a hole through your finger, through your skin. Yeah, like so. Just stupid, random, antique stuff like that was what we would always go try to score and find. So are you kind of into the picking thing, going out and finding old treasures?
Yeah, you know, I wish I could be more into it. I live in a small house, and it already looks like an episode of Hoarders. Yeah, it really does. And if I lived into a bigger place, it would probably end up looking the same anyway, just by expansion. I don't have a garage, and it's probably for the best because it would look like another episode of Hoarders.
Just be full. Yeah. Well, I think my wife completely understands, because my house is kind of the same way. I've got all this stuff just sitting in boxes that.
Yeah, you never know when you might need a rusty sickle.
That's true.
One day it's just going to come in handy.
Well, we appreciate you stopping by. I know you're making the rounds out here. Really looking forward to the set, September 7th.
That's the date.
New Clutch. Get ready, because the new single is awesome, and I can't wait to hear the rest of it.
Thank you.
We appreciate you coming by, Neil. Thank you.
Not a problem.